Hello, wonderful people of the world. It is my face again, and I know last time you saw my face, this more familiar face anyways, I said I was hopefully gonna be back soon, and I'm sure it's been well over a week. I have no idea how much time it has been, but here we are. So, I am gonna be completely honest and be completely real because this is all I want to do, and I think all I've ever truly wanted for myself in life was just to be able to be authentic and to be real, and for people to be able to feel the space, like to feel safe and to feel like I'm holding space for them to be real and to be authentic themselves, and to let people know that it's okay to just be. So on that note, in the spirit of being real, I have no idea what I'm gonna do with this account. What I do know is that I very firmly believe that I will not be able to go back and just continue on with readings like I was doing 2 years ago. Clearly something was not flowing, something was not vibing with me. There's a reason that I took a step back, and as I said in my last little video here, little sharing session, we'll call it that, there's like pretty much everything about me has fundamentally changed. So there's just, that's on a small scale how much I cannot go back. This is a weird cube thing that I found on a YouTube ad that I bought. Apparently it's called a shishibo. It's a fidget toy, basically, and the magnets clanking around inside of it might be really distracting. I'm trying to be quiet with it, but I need something to play with and to do while I talk, and also it's just fun. So here we are. So I don't know what is in store for the future. I don't have a plan at all. I'm just here, and what I know is that I want and I need spaces to share and to use my voice more, to let out all of the things, the ideas, the philosophies, the whatever I have going on in my head. I need spaces to share that with, and I think in my personal life I consciously go, like, not out of my way, but I make an effort to consciously try to connect with people, no matter who they may be, where they come from, what role they play in my life, from a space of authenticity and realness. And I'm trying to share my things consciously and recognize that I have a lot going on in this brain of mine. And I have lots of things that I just want to be able to speak out loud and talk and swap ideas with people and discuss, and not just always be kind of in my own vacuum chamber with myself over here, because I'm freaking out and I'm spinning out and worried about sharing things and about speaking, because I'm worried that things that I say or my truth will come back to bite me in the ass or something like that. Like, I know that I needed to come and do something on this account, and I know that I need a space to share, and so here we are. I'm creating and carving out this space for myself, and in my faith in whatever I have faith in, however I want to label and define it, I believe that if you're here, then it's because you want to be here, you're choosing to be here, and most likely there's something here for you that you need to hear, that you would like to hear, that would be hopefully helpful for you in your life, even if it's just a confirmation of hearing somebody say something that you understand and you're like, oh yeah, I'm there too. I don't know. So I just believe that whatever is meant to happen will happen. Whoever is meant to hear will be here and watching this video, and we're gonna leave it at that. And everything else I'm accepting is beyond my control, right? All I can do is be myself, truly, and share my things and do what feels right for me, and everything else, it's not in my hands to worry about. So on today's theme of being real and authentic, I have been procrastinating on just coming and sitting and talking and having another share sesh here, because I've been so caught up in the shit around it that really truly doesn't matter. So I've been going, oh my god, is Instagram the right platform? Maybe people aren't gonna care because I'm gonna be talking too long, and people really want like a 1 minute tops video on Instagram, and like all this shit just spinning out, and thinking that I need to be doing something like, oh, I need the background of wherever I'm filming to be cool, and like just all of this stuff that really does not matter, and all of these worries that honestly are a waste of energy, of just trying to be more than I am, trying to be more perfect, and just chasing that, wanting to be perfect. So there's another opportunity right there for learning and understanding that nobody and nothing is perfect. You're never gonna be perfect. So just show up, come as you are. As the great philosopher Nirvana said, come as you are. So here we are. Yeah, I've been through, and I've got lots and lots of thoughts. I've got lots of stories, lots of things that I would like to share one day, but there's many things that I don't think I'm ready to share and to get into right now. And I also do believe in the power of privacy and keeping some stuff to yourself and not airing everything out there. But I also firmly believe in the power of being like radically honest and open and sharing things as they are in your perspective. And I believe and respect that we are all living within and out of and from our own perceptions. And at the end of the day, like, we only have us, right? So what one person's perception of something might be, it'll be completely different for somebody else, right? So that's something that I'm trying to implement in my own life, is that knowing, the true deep soulful knowing, not just surface level woo woo, oh yeah, oh my god, we're like, I don't know, I've had a complete 360 no scope backflip bullshit whatever outlook on myself and my spirituality, we'll call it my faith, and that's the thing, is whatever words I say here, they're gonna be filtered through your own perception and your filter, right? Because you only have you're living as you, and you're living through your experiences. So maybe somebody hears me say the word faith, and they're thinking of Christianity or something, so organized religion. Whereas when I think of faith, I'm thinking of, just belief in the universe, and whatever happens is gonna happen. Just belief, basically. Like, it's just, I don't know. This is a idea, a thought form that I've been exploring, is just the reality that we are all living within and out of and through our own perceptions, right? Everything we see and take in, it's filtered and processed through our own minds, and that's something that only we have control of. And the things, I believe, the things that we come across, the things that we take in, there's a reason that it's there, right? I do firmly believe that everything happens for a reason, as cliche as that sounds. I do firmly believe that. And I do also believe that there are no accidents, that we are always exactly where we are meant to be when we're there, even when everything feels like it's just upside down and it's like, how the fuck did I get here? I do firmly believe there is a reason and a purpose for everything. And I also believe that the things that we experience outwardly are reflections of what we have going on within us. So I'm gonna bet on my faith and my beliefs that if you're here, it's because there is something within all of this flowing and free-flowing thought form expressed outwardly from my body to the phone to your body. There's got to be something here in this that you relate to, or you need to hear this on some deep subconscious level, or whatever it may be. So here we are, and thank you for being here, and thank you for listening, because I need to speak and I need to share, and I'm not always sure of what or why I need to share, but I'm in my blind faith in myself and whatever I got fucking going for me here on a spiritual level, if you want to call it that. I'm believing that whatever needs to be said and whatever needs to be heard will come out of my mouth eventually. Something I did want to talk about, though, and I feel like I'm dancing around it and all of this, is the truth that I have found, that I think is a universal truth, but to impose that belief on other people is, again, me filtering through my own perceptions. I feel like I sound so, what's the word? Like, way too into myself. Like, I feel like I sound like that person that's like, I'm so fucking deep, dude, oh my god, but, you know, at the end of the day, there is only you, right? Like, you're here, you're wherever you are watching this video, but at the end of the day, there is only you. So, at the end of the day, like, you have to have your own back, right? You gotta look out for yourself, you gotta take care of you, like, you know, life and things, people, situations, whatever it may be, they're always coming and going, but the only constant you have in your life is you, and if you really break things down, the only thing that you truly have control over is yourself, right? So, I guess all of this is me being there for myself and supporting myself and doing what I am called to do and trusting in myself. I think that's a big thing as well, and that's why I think I'm wrestling with the idea of coming back and just doing tarot again and doing readings for people and stuff like that. Like, there's nothing wrong with any of that. There's nothing wrong with tarot, doing readings. I don't have any issue with that, but I know for myself, and I'm trusting my own inner knowing, that I'm in a space where I don't think I have it in me to be giving in that way and to be channeling other people and other things and situations through me in that way. And also in the line of just trusting yourself, right now, I am having a hard time sitting in that space of, I am channeling some truths through for you to take in, and obviously with tarot and predictive content and all that stuff, at the end of the day, it's up to your discernment and your perception and what you absorb out of that, right? Like, you can go and get a reading from somebody or watch a reading on YouTube or whatever, and you don't have to accept and take in what you're being told, right? At the end of the day, it's, again, your decision, and you're in control of, if you believe, to your discernment, does this align with you? Is this what you want in your life? Or is this something that you're like, yeah, that does not fit, and I'm not subscribing to that narrative, right? So I don't think I can sit in a position right now where I feel like I'm gonna be like telling people truths about themselves and their life and predicting things that are gonna happen, because I believe that we all know ourselves best, right? Like, I'm trying to, everything that I'm saying here, it is not coming from a place of judgment, and it's not coming from a place of me believing that these things are wrong. And also, if it sounds like I'm using a mocking tone, I am only mocking myself. I am not passing that as a judgment or a making fun of or whatever on other people and what they have going on. I truly am just filtering everything through me right now and what I'm going through. And this is my thought process, and you are free to not accept it and use your discernment and say, no thanks, you know, like, you have total freedom to click off of this, you know. So this is where my line of thinking is, and what I'm working on is trying to trust myself fully, and trust myself the most out of everything else, right? I've spent a lot of time in my life putting a lot of energy to outside forces, circumstances, people, to show me the way, to show me the truth, to give me hints on what I'm supposed to be doing and who I truly am and what my purpose is. And just looking back at everything that I have been through in my life as a whole, I think that's where you get lost, right? Because you lose yourself because you're not actually listening to yourself, and you're not trusting yourself because you're saying to yourself subconsciously, and most of the time without the intention, you are saying to yourself, I don't trust myself and whatever I have going on in me, or maybe I can't even hear myself because I'm so busy being distrustful of myself and my own inner stuff and my own inner truth, that I am way more willing to go outside of myself and listen to other people, other things, like whatever it may be, you know? And again, in this, I'm not saying it's totally unhealthy. Like, you should never listen to a thing that anybody says to you. You should never take advice from somebody else. You should never get a tarot reading again, you know? I'm not saying that. It's just, remember that you're filtering it through you, right? So anything you take in, like I said, filter it through your own discernment and choose. Choose if you want to accept it or if you want to leave it behind. So this is a whole long spiral, and I hope somebody out there is following and is here with me in the way that I hope that I can be that support and just confirmation, just because it is nice to feel validated and to feel heard by other people, right? To have somebody else out there in the world when you feel lost and alone or whatever it is that you're feeling, to know that somebody else there is like, yeah, I'm right there with you, without you really going out of your way to ask for it or whatever, you know? It's like we attract and manifest those things into our reality for us to find head on and be like, oh wow, I needed to hear that. So you know, we live in a magical universe within my belief, but at the same time, we live in whatever kind of place you believe it to be within yourself. So I don't know, take what you want out of all of this, but this is where I'm at, is I just want to have deep conversations with people. I want to connect. I want to share ideas and thought forms and just be myself and express. And so I'm here expressing, and I'm trying to be okay with the fact that this is imperfect. Maybe nobody will watch this, and that's fine. Maybe it's not going to make sense to anybody. Maybe people are annoyed by the clacking of this. Like, I don't know. I'm just trying to radically accept and be okay with all of it, because I'm trying to remind myself that at the end of the day, I only have me, right? I am only control of me, and anything else outside of that is out of my hands, right? I can't control how this is perceived, how I am perceived. I can't control, you know, if it pops off or like whatever the fuck, you know? All I can control is me, and I am consciously making a decision to sit here in my bed and record this little fucking ramble and to fidget with my new favorite thing in my material world. Yep. So I guess just to kind of very ADHD neurodivergent, if you want to call it that, swing back around to the topic of tarot and predictive stuff and what the future of this page raise readings all is. And in the line of, you know, putting yourself first in everything and realizing that that truly is all you have at the end of the day. Everything comes and goes but you. Because when you come and go, you're coming and going with you, you know? So in the spirit of all that, just looking back and reflecting on my little journey here as a tarot reader on the internet, I spent a lot of time obviously doing readings for other people, which is great, but my main point is I spent a lot of time doing the love readings thing, right? And putting a lot of, even just in my spiritual practice, putting a lot of focus and energy into the idea of somebody else and love and relationships and all this stuff, and I really truly think I tripped myself up on that many a times, stab myself with my own swords. And again, that's all my choices and my filtering through, and right, maybe lessons, like definitely lessons that I needed to learn because I needed a push to come back to this. Like, this is the foundation, right? Like, you sitting over there, you are the foundation for you and your life and everything that goes on there, and you got to keep it that way. Because otherwise you really truly do lose yourself, and either you lose yourself completely and you get stuck there, or you are forced to have to claw your way out truth and nail, apparently, and find yourself again and figure out what the fuck is going on. So, not only for my own personal life, but for others and within the space of my readings and the spiritual things that I was doing, and I'm not hating on it, I've just grown so far out of it that it doesn't align. I don't resonate with it anymore, right? And so that's why I'm not here doing these fucking readings. I don't want to be telling people who they are and what's going on with their life. I don't want to be predicting that, oh my god, your soulmate is gonna come in tomorrow, and, like, I know I'm making light of it, and it definitely probably feels like I'm making fun of people, but I'm really only throwing the stones at myself here. At least that's in my perception. You're free to think of it however you want. I just don't resonate with it anymore, dude. Like, I don't know. I'm proud of myself, and I'm here for how much I have grown, and I'm so open to the perspective shifts, and I'm also open for the journey that has been my spiritual journey and awakening, and we're just gonna leave it at that, because that's what most people, that's a connected thought form, that's a label to use, that there is, I think, a collective consciousness of how we perceive that one. So, apparently oh my god, I feel very pretentious. That's the word, pretentious, in all of this. I'm just, look at me using my big fancy words and my big fancy concepts and stuff, but this is where it's at, dude. Like, I can't take it too seriously, and I can't be all woo-woo, love and light, just bypassing issues and stuff like that. Like, don't get me wrong, do I think that past me and all the stuff that I was doing here before, do I think I had some good wisdoms in there? Absolutely. I'm sure I did say and read things and channel through things that helped people, but it's just not going to be the same anymore. Because nothing is the same, and that's a beautiful thing, and I am so here for change. So, today it might be this, but it doesn't mean that tomorrow it's gonna be the same thing, and I'm just very open to the flow of whatever needs to happen, which is why I just plop my ass down, and we're doing this thing. We're doing the damn thing, and I had no idea what was gonna come out. I tried to think of rough bullet points to touch on, and I totally forgot most of them, because maybe they weren't meant to be talked about. So I don't know, man. I spent a lot of my life putting other people in the driver's seat. Alright, we had to take a pause because I was startled by a very loud scream, and I was a little scared and didn't know what was going on. But I was just saying that I spent a lot of my life putting me and basically putting the responsibility of my life on other people's shoulders, I think, like waiting for people to come in, so to give me permission to do things, waiting for people to see me first so that I didn't have to do the hard work of seeing myself and picking myself up and all that stuff, right? And I think I spent so much time looking at other people and this fantasy, this want, this dream of like somebody coming in basically and white knighting my ass and saving me from myself and being accountable and responsible for my own shit. Like, I put so much time into that, and for what? Because don't get me wrong, I had lots of great experiences because of it, and if I had to go back and do my life again, I wouldn't change a damn thing. I'm very grateful for everything that's happened, and even everything that's fallen apart. But yeah, just, if I'm gonna be a cynical bastard about it, if I look back at it, what was it all for at the end of the day? Because it just landed me back in the same place of needing to be here and needing to be with myself and to be accountable for myself and my own choices and not wait on and not rely on other people to get me through life, basically. And again, in saying this, I am not saying that getting help and support from other people is bad. Not in the slightest. I'm, as much as I'm going against the waiting for other people to save me, I also am trying to learn and practice receiving and asking people for help and seeking community rather than always just trying to deal with things on myself, right? Like, there's definitely some wounding and trauma there within hyper independence where it's like you're not even giving yourself the chance to let people in to like help you. And I think there's good intentioned people out there that just genuinely do want to support and help. And if if I just live my whole life closed off, like, no, it's fine, I got it, I can do everything by myself, I'm restricting myself and cutting myself off from beautiful, wonderful connections, opportunities, people, real, true, genuine connection, not transactional, like, what are you gonna do for me, how are you gonna help me kind of thing. I feel like the focus is off on this, and who knows, there might be some paranormal spiritual activity going on behind me, I don't know. So yeah, all of this is a mindfuck. And if you're still here, thank you for being here for it. Hope you're enjoying, hope you're having a good time, hope you're tracking all of the free-flowing flow that we got going on here, and I hope you're here just for the whatever. The fucking Ray experience, dude. That's all this is, and that's all I can bring, and I think that's what I have to offer. Do I still think and believe that, like, if we're gonna put universally understood labels on things, and I feel, again, so pretentious for saying this, but if I'm gonna sit here and like, yes, I believe I have spiritual gifts and I can channel things through and I can talk to spirits and whatever you want to call them, and I do believe I can read and do tarot, and that I have predicted things or given people messages over the years and whatever that, like, truly did mean something and was something, right? It's not just coming out of my ass. I do believe there's a lot of legitimacy in that, not just for me, but for anybody that does this kind of stuff. So I'm not discounting or denying or rejecting those things. I'm just keeping it real. That's, I think, the main theme in all of this is just keeping it real and being authentically me. And I have, again, been wrestling on just sitting down and doing what I'm doing right now for the last week or however long it's been. I don't even fucking know. Because I'm like, well, it's, it's on my, like, tarot account, and I built this whole thing up to be kind of like a certain niche, a certain little box. So what I do here, I gotta keep it in that box. So therefore, I should have some fucking cards on the screen when I'm doing this, right? And I can't bring it in me. I'm looking at my decks right now, and I can't bring it in me to just be like, yeah, that feels like the right move to just pull out a deck and see what's going on and read the energy for whoever may be here, like, that's all well and fine, but it's not where I'm at right now. This is where I'm at. I'm just keeping it real. Yeah, I truly am not sure how much I'm actually ready to share, especially on a public platform like this. If you know, you know. If you've been there, if you've seen and kept tabs, whatever, you probably know, or at least can infer some stuff. But I've just been to places and seen things and been to depths within myself that I just can't not keep it real, even if that realness sometimes comes from a place of just being pretty cynical about certain things, and maybe even being a little bit too grounded, I guess. Like, I don't know. I think I'm definitely somebody that has a very fantastical, imaginative mind. I do think, I've very much, like, fairy tale thinking. And I think that suits me because so many things of my life have fit the bill, But there's just, again, I'm speaking on this stuff and coming from a place and commentating and critiquing how I personally was going about things in the past, right? And I honestly, I haven't gone back and watched any of my old readings and videos. I think I tried, but I just, like, I really truly fell out of my faith and my belief in pretty much everything for a while there, and it basically wasn't until hitting rock bottom again that I got back into it, but I guess created a new form for me to understand and interact with basically myself, because again, everything starts and stops with you, so therefore everything kind of is you in a weird way. Like, it's not, but on a deep philosophical and I think truly spiritual level, there is only this one thing. And so if you're really gonna do the macro big fucking zoomed out look at everything, that's at least my understanding. So I don't know. So much twisting and turning and rambling and ranting and whatever. But I just can't. I don't know. I just think what I was doing before and how I was going about what I was doing is just too light and fluffy and ungrounded for where I feel I'm at right now. And don't get me wrong, for like I think a majority of people's standards, I think I'm still pretty ungrounded in a lot of things and still very woo-woo, up in the sky, whatever, and I do still believe lots of that stuff. But I don't know, I'm going about it differently, you know. I just, the way that I remember it and the way that I perceive all of the past stuff that I did here on this account and on the YouTube channel, the subsequent YouTube channel, for all of this, the way I perceive it and how I was back then, it just felt very like, okay, yeah, guys, like, hi, it's just like love and light and peace, like, yeah. So like, I think I was keeping it real, and I think there was some, you know, deep real stuff in there and good lessons, but I think as a whole I can just chalk it up to, in the crudest, most not giving any of that credit way, to, yeah, just kind of light, fluffy woo-woo of like, yeah, so like this thing is happening, and like, oh my god, maybe a knight's gonna ride in on a shiny, dazzling Mazda, come sweep you off your feet, and life is gonna be better, and money is just magically gonna rain down from the heavens on you because you exist, you know. And like, I want to believe that the world can and is that way, and magical things can happen, and I do, but I don't know, the delivery it's not gonna be the same anymore. So I it's like I'm taking this more seriously and more cynically, I guess I could perceive it that way. But at the same time, I can't take it and myself so seriously anymore, right? Like, I'm cracking jokes and I'm using weird fucking voices and just rambling here. Like, there's nothing serious about it. So, if you couldn't tell, I am in a space of questioning everything in a weird way and reflecting on everything and asking questions and just looking at things in a whole different perspective. And I think I've just gotten to the point in life where I'm just disillusioned enough, and not in a negative way, I think, but just, I don't know, it is what it is, right? Like, I know that I did a lot of, like, spiritual bypassing, you know, however many years ago when I was doing this stuff, and it's like, yeah, it's hard to look at life and people and reality of the world around us and what we see and what we take in and what we perceive of what's really happening. You know, it's hard to look at that and accept it for what it is. So I think there was just, yeah, a lot of bypassing within me, and honestly, truly, a lot of hiding. I think maybe I did a lot of hiding behind my cards and behind the readings, and I think I do a lot of hiding behind helping other people and being there for other people. So, like, I can't hide anymore. Even though I still do, obviously, and I'm still holding so many things back, even though I know I have so many things in me that I want to share, and I'm, you know, sitting here watching the time of this and going, oh my god, it's way too long, I need to shut the fuck up, but like 11:11 as I'm saying this, but I just need to speak, and I need to share, and it might just be rambling, but like, I need this. So yeah, maybe that sounds like a selfish, douchey thing to do, and it's like, shut the fuck up, lady, and just come read our cards, god damn it. But it's not where it's at. Like, I need to be doing stuff for me, you know? So yeah, this is a selfish endeavor, if we can call it that way, but it's self-centered in the way that I'm choosing to, that my starting point is from me. Because honestly, I look back at a lot of the stuff that I was doing. Why am I so emotional right now? What the fuck? And yeah, a lot of the stuff that I was doing, I think, like, subconsciously, but even fairly consciously to myself, I really was doing it for other people and for 1212, as I just said that. And I was doing it out of hoping that people would see it and hoping that I would be seen and understood and that there would be connection out of that. So I just think, you know, there's a reason that what I was doing before, it didn't work out the way that I wanted it to, because it wasn't meant to, because I wasn't going about it in the right way, right? It's like 1, 2, 3, 4 as I'm saying this, right? So I still, again, I'm still so fucking woo-woo. I love all my angel numbers and shit like that, you know? So yeah, this is me doing this for me, and I guess not, like, trying really hard and going against my base instincts and trying not to give a fuck on what happens after this. You know, like, I'm not doing this, and at least I'm very consciously trying not to do any of this, to say any of this, to post this in hopes that it'll have a certain reaction, a certain cause and effect. If I do A, is it gonna equal B? Because I really want B, but, like, you know, so I'm doing this more out of, I realize there's a thing and there's a need that needs to be met, and, you know, because everything starts and stops with me, and I only have control over myself. I can't just expect people are gonna sense with their intuition that I have needs and I need to speak and I need to share, and they're just gonna flock to me and let me yap. You know, I have the power in this to make the choice to sit down and ramble at my fucking camera in my bedroom with my cat, who is trying to sleep, but I'm interrupting her slumber, her peaceful slumber, because I'm talking. Yeah, so clearly we're just on a very deep thought spiral, and I assure you, if you have made it this far, bless you, bless your heart, thank you for listening to this rambling and for being here with me. You truly are a real one. Yeah, because it's all over this place, and all over the place, because I was thinking about what I was gonna say next before I was done talking. But yeah, I really love this thing. It is so fascinating and such a wonderful invention of humanity to combine all these triangles and to put fancy, beautiful colors. Like, I got 2 of them, okay? I got sucked into the YouTube ad of the guy being like, this is a fucking thing. And I was like, okay, great, I need to buy it right now. And I'm so glad I did. Yeah. This is where it's at, guys. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I definitely never announced it on here, so I don't know how closely you've been following my journey. I feel so pretentious in all of this and saying that, but, you know, when I was doing all of this 2 years ago, when I was really deep into it, you know, I was living life in a state of a lot of lack of understanding of myself, but I was constantly trying to figure out what was wrong with me, right? I don't know what that accent was, but yeah, I was diagnosed with ADHD last year, and it made a lot of sense, and it brought everything together for me. Like, it was, you know, I could see all of the equations, the stars aligned, and I was like, okay, I have an answer, and now I don't have to sit and just be stuck on what's wrong with me, what's the problem, and be searching for that, and instead just accept myself as I am and work with myself within that. So thus the fidget toy and the impulse buy on YouTube. Yeah, and again, because I've created a spiritual setting and community here, you know, I'm sure you could argue, oh, it's not ADHD, or it doesn't have, or ADHD is just a symptom of this, and I'm sure you can argue that it is. And you know what, in my deepest woo-woo mind of like me sitting here and talking to the universe and the spirits and everything that I believe in, yeah, I can totally be like, yeah, in a worldly context it's ADHD, but in a spiritual context, I'm just a channeler. I'm just like so full of energy and flow that of course I'm all over the place and rambling, right? Like multiple things can be true at once, and it's up to you to decide what is true and what's not for you. So in my reality, in my world, we have all of the room for nuance, for multiple things to be true, to change your opinion in your mind on stuff. Confirmation burp. I love all the readers that I still tune into on YouTube, and again, even how I've gone about that and how I interact with the new age spiritual community, we'll call it, has completely changed. Oh, I made a ball. And I destroyed that ball. Yeah, like honestly, I spent a lot of time in my teen years to my early 20s taking in a lot of predictive content, right? Lots of tarot videos, and it was usually love readings, I'm not gonna lie, because I don't know, I just like I guess it felt safer to want to know what was going on in my life that didn't actually have to do with me and what was going on in my life. Like, it's like I want to, it's like you're energetically spying, or like you're just taking in stuff and telling yourself that's the story, I don't know, but I wanted to know what was going on with other people and what could be, rather than sitting with what actually was and what actually is. And so I think the things that I'm taking in now, and I still honestly fight myself on it, because I'm trying to live my belief that I'm trying to wire into my brain that, I am, like, everything starts and stops in my own life, and my own reality starts and stops with me, so therefore I'm gonna be the best teller, judge, predictor, intuition for me and myself in my own life, right? Like, again, it's like just outsourcing inner knowledge and inner truths that like do and always have existed within you. So I try to watch myself on that. So yeah, I try not to get on fucking benders where it's like every single video that comes across my feed I'm clicking on because I believe that there's a reason for everything and there are no accidents, and I'm sure there is messages in every single fucking video that comes around, but ultimately I'm trying to, like I said, practice what I preach and know that like I'm gonna be the number one like truth teller for my own life, if that makes any sense. I feel like it's a very clear concept in my head and I'm not articulating it outwardly well. But it's like, just like, you know yourself best, you know yourself best, you know your life best, you know your situation, your predicament, whatever. And the more you work on trusting yourself, I think the better you are at discerning and figuring things out and feeling things out and whatever. So yeah, on that note, as much as I'm completely doing my 360 no scope backflip shit here and flipping this around, instead of it being about other people, what I'm doing here on this channel of doing readings, channel, account, whatever, of doing readings for other people and doing everything with a secret intent, basically, that I hope somebody sees it, or it finds it, or it pops off, or whatever the fuck. Instead of doing that, like I am, or, the spirit, how I'm going about and practicing and interacting with my spirituality, and all of that revolving around, like, other people and another person, or trusting other people over myself. I'm trying to come at it now in the way of, like, I'm doing this for me, like, whether to me, in my own perception, and I'm sure to other people that sounds really selfish and just, like, okay, I only have me, and I can only do me, and I can only express and perceive things and process things through me, right? So trying to shamelessly sit here and be like, yep, I'm doing this for me, but I'm going back to my faith, my belief, and all the things that I believe. I believe that, you know, I can sit here and be like, I'm just doing me, I'm doing this for me, but I do believe there is magic in me doing that, and I do believe that there's a reason that I need to come down and record this and say this, and there's a reason that I'm so pushed, as I'm getting emotional again, to express and to speak, because I think lots of people out there need to hear it. And so, you know, I'm sitting here shitting on myself this whole fucking video and thinking it's too long and thinking, oh my god, I'm not making sense, and like I'm sure everybody is like just ignoring this and not following. You know, I'm casting all this doubt and shame and whatever on myself when, like, under all of that fear, I just truly do believe that there's there's clearly, in my perspective, there's a reason that I'm here doing this, and that I need to be doing this. 2222, as I'm saying that, like, every time I look at this thing, there's an angel number that's significant to me, an angel number. Oh my god, I was trying to do a thing, but I fucked it up. And that's that. Mic drop. Yeah. I'm trying to get myself to stop rambling, because I think it is too long, but I feel like I should fight that and just allow myself to ramble, because I don't feel like I'm done sharing. Like, I really, truly have so much within me that goes unsaid and has gone unsaid for a really long time, and I guess, yeah, selfishly, to toot my own horn, I do believe that I have lots of things and thoughts and ideas and experiences and revelations and philosophies within me that can be beneficial to other people. And so, yeah, I do feel called to share, and I do feel called to just trust myself to babble. And trust that, as I've said a billion times, I'm sure now, that whoever's meant to hear it will find it and will hear it. And will take out of it whatever they need to and whatever they are meant to. And I'm definitely gonna take out of it whatever I need to and whatever I'm meant to. I have another one. That's how sucked in I got. Okay, because they did the whole, you buy one, you get a second one, whatever % off, and I was like, what a deal, oh my god. One of them makes 72 shapes by itself, but 2 of them you can connect and combine. Yes, sir, on the YouTube video. I need all of them. Yeah, so we're here for being me, you know what, and all of the messaging that I've got from the world back at me, all of the reflections I've seen in other people and what they've said is that, like, it seems like the main consensus I've got from most people that I would say I had and still have, or whatever, a good connection with, or somebody that I would look up to and be aligned with them and resonate with them in some way. Yeah, it seems like the greater consensus is that when I'm just here doing me and I'm being myself, like when Rachel is just being Rachel and she's doing her and being authentically her, and we're living the full Rachel experience, things just work out. You know, like, I connect more than if I'm trying to hide parts of myself, like even hiding my fucking name. So I do, for whatever reason, I think it's within everybody, and again, if you're here, it means that it's within you too, and you see that I think there's a gift in just being real and being authentic. Like, even in my everyday life and small interactions at my retail job, just being real and genuine with people, it seems like it really makes a world of a difference, because unfortunately we do live in a world and in a time right now, and, you know, not to be that bitch that's like, oh my god, things are so hard this day and age, because shit's always been hard. It's hard being a human. Doesn't, you know, it's like, it doesn't matter what time you're living in or what time of history it is, like, there's always gonna be shit. Like, it's gonna be different shit, you know, different day, same shit, different flavor of shit, but it's still shit, right? I think we can all agree on that. I completely lost my point. Wow. I don't know. There's a reason for everything, everybody, and I don't know. I'm just meant... Yeah, so, okay. There we go. We're getting it back. there's no way in hell there is not some higher power looking out for me right now and helping me stay grounded and to recalibrate myself and reconnect the train of thinking that is like just all over the place. I'm just fucking myself now, like just totally derailing it. The point that I had that the people needed to know. Yeah, I think you know, the authenticity and genuineness, at least in my own experience, like people know that and can sense that, and it's just, I think people need that. So there it is. There's the point. We found it. We're living in a time right now where I think there's so much performance and there's so much inauthenticity because there is so much pressure to be seen, to be perceived in a certain way, to not be judged. Like, you know, like it's just different times that we don't have history books for, you know, of navigating the internet and at any second being able to be seen by all of the eyes in the world simultaneously, you know, like that's some crazy shit. So I think there's a lot of pressure on us as modern day humans, and when you're trying to find yourself and you're trying to show up and figure things out and you're just trying to share and be yourself, like I just think it's really easy to get lost you know, honestly, I think it comes down to defense mechanisms and trying to protect yourself. You know, like if you don't show up as the full authentic version of who you are and people judge you for that, well, at least you have the like safe soft landing of, well, you know, that wasn't like fully me anyways, so it you know, you can kind of compartmentalize and separate and whatever. But I just think as a whole, to me, it seems like the collective consciousness, we're getting sick of the inauthenticity, and I think we just need more people to just be real. And I think with ourselves, I think we're getting sick of our own shit, you know, like I'm, you know, if where I'm at in my mental whatever thinking, if the rest of the world is, you know, following suit and like here with me and keeping up, then I can confirm that like I think we're just getting sick of our own shit. I think we're getting sick of like pretending, and yeah, I can't speak for other people, so I'm gonna go back and switch to my perspective again. I'm just sick of pretending. I'm sick of keeping parts, I'm sick of dimming to fit in, I'm sick of keeping parts of myself to myself, I'm sick of denying things about myself, I'm sick of like just trying to fit in, trying to be a certain thing, trying to play a certain role, be a certain thing, a certain character, whatever the fuck. I can't do it anymore. And so there I am, cringe, with the horrible fucking Scottish accent that's not even Scottish, because it's just so bad. But that's real. That's the real me, baby. This is all real, all the authentic Rachel experience that you're hopefully maybe still here experiencing with me. Yeah, so I don't know, I don't have the energy in me anymore to be so overclamped about, like, again, I say this, but at the same time, like, I clearly still do have the energy, because I'm working on getting, you know, separating myself from that. But I don't want to make space. I'm having a hard time keeping space, and I don't want to be consciously keeping space, to be putting all this energy into trying to be, compartmentalized, fragmented versions of myself. I just want to be me and fully me for myself, so I can just have some goddamn fucking peace within myself and in my brain. Because when you're constantly compartmentalizing yourself and from my experience, fragmenting yourself and denying parts of yourself, you're creating all of this stress and resistance and fear and anxiety within yourself and within your own life, and you really can drive yourself crazy with it. And I know, because I've done it for most of my life. So I'm just like so done with like I'm trying to be so done with being so paranoid and so concerned about how I might be perceived. You know, am I gonna fit in? Is this gonna, agree with people? Like, I'm just really trying to be so done with this endless, relentless pattern of like tossing and turning at night and being concerned over things that I can't control and like exploding from the inside out because I have things within me that I need to share, that I want to share, that I am like being pushed by my fucking team of the unseen. That's a good one. To come here and just do this and blabber and share because apparently somebody out there needs to hear it. I'm just sick of being so concerned about what that looks like and how I'm gonna go about it and trying to always have a plan, right? Like, I think that's the most honest thing I could ever come here and do and say is I don't know and I don't have a plan. And I think on a lot of ways we're all kind of collectively lying to ourselves when we're saying like I have a plan or I'm gonna do this and this and that's how it's gonna go, because the thing is like it never goes how you planned or how you expected, at least within my experience. Like, don't get me wrong, there are things that like go to plan, but you know, it never happens exactly how you want it to, at least within my experience. And you know what, maybe I'm wrong about that. I hope there are people out there that have had wonderful experiences where they wanted to manifest something and it happened exactly to the T how they wanted it. But in my experience, it's always something a little bit different. It's always a surprise. It's always something a bit unexpected. But you know what? You always get what you need when you need it. You know, like you never go without, truly. So as much as I can sit here and reflect on how I feel like, you know, I wish things went differently, you know, with my life and my circumstances, and I wish certain things worked out that didn't work out and blah blah blah. Truly everything happened for a reason, and I do believe right now in this moment I am exactly where I need to be. And I know that because every time I look up it's angel numbers. So yeah, you always gotta have your back. And sometimes that requires making really hard decisions and being the devil in somebody else's story. And I think just being able to sit with that and be okay with that, and know that you are not the perceptions and the projections that other people have put on you, you know, because we're all going off of what information we have, and nobody can ever truly see all of the things about you, right? Like, only you can see and know all of the things that there are to you. So only you can truly know who you are, and only you can judge and decide who you truly are, right? So you could have somebody saying that you're an awful fucking person, and maybe to them and in that circumstance you absolutely were, but at the end of the day there's like so much more that goes into it than that. And at the end of the day, you are not like, you know, your actions don't completely define you, you know, because we're always growing and changing, and there's always circumstances and nuance and reasons behind things that other people might never understand, and that's okay. So yeah, just being able to sit with that and be okay with being misunderstood, to be okay with not being seen and not being heard, to be okay with the fact that life went how it's gone so far, and maybe that really was not according to plan at all, and being okay with maybe being the villain in somebody's story. Yeah, that's a level of radical acceptance that I really try to implement into my life every day. Because I do care about what people think, and I do care about how I'm perceived, and I think because I'm working so hard to truly know who I am deep down, and be that and embody that constantly, not just for myself but, you know, out to the world around me. You know, so it's like I know how I am, I know how I am and who I am, or at least I'm getting there. So, you know, I do want to be understood, and I do want to be correctly perceived, and it, like, you know, it does hurt knowing that, like, there are people out there that will never see you for who you truly are, and you know, and the other, or knowing that there's going to be people in situations where, yeah, they're judging you based off who you were when you last spoke or had a falling out or whatever the fuck it was, right? And it's not within your, you know, like, some things are just meant to be as they are and to be left alone, right? Like, it's, you're not always going to have an opportunity for closure. You're not always going to have the opportunity to just swoop in and say, oh my god, like, look at me, I'm a new person now, and I'm not who I was back then, so please stop perceiving me that way. Or, you know, swoop in and just say, actually, this is who I am, so how you think of me and how you're judging me based on my past actions is totally wrong. Like, you know, it would be a wonderful, truly miraculous world if we could, you know, always be completely, totally, like, I mean, I think it would also be awful and terrifying, but in an idyllic way, it would be wonderful if people could perceive us completely accurately to who we truly are deep down, but it's just not fucking possible. So, again, it's not within your control, it's not within my control to dictate these things and to make these things happen or clarify these things, and you just gotta be okay with that, because you deserve to sleep at night. Yeah. I think it's just a weird time right now for everybody, and it's been a weird time for a long time, but I want to firmly believe that good things are happening for everybody. I mean, we're ending the year of 2024 soon, and we're moving into 2025, and if I'm gonna come back on my woo-woo spiritual shit, with numerology, number 5 is the number of change and transformation. Okay, so we are in the year of change and transformation, and if you add up all of the numbers that make up 2025, you get 9, and 9 in numerology is the number of endings, and, you know, to me, endings, it's not just, you know, there really never is a true end, right? Like, I think, like, an ending is just an opportunity for a new beginning. So I do think lots of things are ending, lots of things are falling apart, no fucking doubt about it. But it doesn't mean that shit just ceases to be, right? Like, you know, when an animal in nature dies and their life ends, you know, you could argue, and with people too, right? Like, their spirit goes on if that's what you believe for yourself. But even just on a physical level, right? Like, their life of running around ends, but they don't completely disappear and cease to have ever existed. You know, their body goes back to the land, and, you know, mushrooms and other things sprout from where the corpse disintegrated. You know, they provided food for a bunch of bugs and other animals and things like that, you know? So it's like, yeah, there is no hard end, right? Like, life is not a neatly packaged book where you got, you know, the certain steps, and then you got the climax, and then you have a nice, neat little ending, and all the loose fucking strings are tied up, and all is good, right? Like, life, I think, is a series of endings and beginnings constantly flowing and moving around with each other in this weird, perfect harmony of this cosmic dance of life and existence. Yeah, so lots of things are ending, but in that, lots of things are beginning. So I guess a little theme of today's talk is coming to terms with and being able to find words for all of the things that clearly have ended for me and here on this fucking account, and all of the things that, like, they're donezo and they're never fucking coming back, but how this is now new, fresh, fertile soil for new stuff to come through. Yeah, so I can never go back to who I was, how I did things, why I did things, with the mind that I did things. Like, it's just never gonna happen, and thank fuck for that, dude. You know, so I don't think this whole account will ever look anywhere near the same that it has this whole time in the past, because everything is just fundamentally different, and I'm choosing consciously to embrace that and to, you know, walk forward with that with grace for myself and for other people and for life to, and for cycles to just be as they are, right? I'm just trying to really be okay with the fact that unfortunately things and people and situations and circumstances come and go, and lots of the time life does not go how you planned. But you always have the choice and the opportunity to adjust yourself, pivot, act according to the circumstances that you're working with right now, and to also just accept radically where you are right now too, instead of getting stuck and hung up on what could have been, what should have been, all of this time that I wasted, like all of that stuff. Yeah. It just honestly just weighs you down, and you're spinning out and you're just torturing yourself when there's no need, boo. Okay, you're exactly where you're meant to be, right here and right now, and all is well, and all will work out, and everything is always working out for you. And so that's an active choice. If you're listening to that and you hear everything is always working out for you, and you're triggered and you're angry and you're rejecting that, that's valid. I'm not saying it's not, but it's also an active choice, right? And sometimes you have to be a little bit delulu and just act as if until that thing starts to be. And I know for myself and my own experiences that's true, because our subconscious doesn't know what's real and what's not. And again, I do believe our outward world is a reflection of what's going on internally, and vice versa. So you could choose to wake up every day and say, oh my god, like, life is just happening to me, and it's always just awful things, and I'm such a victim, and I don't have the power to do anything to change my circumstances and stuff. And you know what? So much of that could be true, and so much of that could be valid, but if you're longing and wanting to live a different life, to live a different way, to have different experiences, to see different things coming in for you, you have the choice to just wake up one day and just start doing things differently, to start telling yourself a different story. So, you can say, no, I'm not going to subscribe to that anymore. Thank you. I am not paying the energetic price for that line of thinking anymore. And I'm going to choose to do different. I'm going to choose to wake up and say, you know what? No, do not align with that version of me, that story of me anymore. I am awesome, and life is always working out for me, and I live an abundant life, and all of the things, like, I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. All of the things that I'm struggling with will be resolved at some point, like, all is well. And yeah, again, in saying that, I am not trying to bypass or just be like, it's fine, and invalidate anything, any experiences, because I do know how hard it is to just really be stuck in that space where it's like you just feel like you can't get out, but you can. There's always an opening. If there's a will, there's a way, okay? There's always a loophole that you can find. There's always a hack, a way you can slippery snake your way through if you really choose to. So yeah, I just think, there's a great magic in those moments of, oh my god, I've completely lost myself, or I think my life is totally over. What do we do about it, bro? I think there's just truly a magic in you and your own inner power and your own decisions. Yeah, so you have full control over you and what you do. Obviously, with logical, rational, and valid and non-invalidating stipulations and outlines and all that good stuff, right? Like, it's not just woo woo woo, like you just say a thing and it just is, and it's fine, and everybody kumbaya and whatever. But you do have more power than you think you do. And you do have the freedom of choice, as much as you are definitely surrounded by things and people and situations that are trying to convince you otherwise. You do have the freedom of choice for you. You can't change things for other people. You can't change the world. You can't save the world or another person or whatever, but you can choose to save yourself and to do better for yourself. And so I think that's been my big lesson for these past 4 or 5 years. And a hard one is it's not my job, and it's not within my control or power to save other people, to change things on a big radical level, on a big wide scale. Like, all I can do is just change things within me and within my own inner world and my realm of control. So yeah, I think all of this is a lot of like, spiritual talk, but there's a lot of just fucking psychology, honestly, mixed in here, and I would say some philosophy. So it's just being a ramble and a tangent, and I think I'm about ready to close my mouth now and leave it here and come back another day for some other ramblings and some teachings and some lessons, if you want to call it that. So if you made it this far, thank you for being here for me. I really, truly appreciate you, and I love that we're vibing. I might not even fucking know you, but I love that we're vibing. I love that we're connecting, and I am grateful and glad that you're resonating with me, and that I can hopefully be a space for you to feel safe and seen and heard, even if it's just kind of a parasocial, one-sided situation we got going on here, yeah, so I hope you took out of this whatever you needed to take out of it, even if it was just, Jesus Christ, I wasted so much time listening to this bitch ramble. That's cool too. It is what it is. Everything's meant to happen for a reason, and I can only truly control and have a say over myself, and so I really need to let go of worrying about what the perception might be and the engagement, and like just all the fucking blah shit about this that really truly doesn't matter. I did my piece, so I'm gonna probably post and ghost, and just let the chips fall as they may. Those who are meant to hear this will hear this. I firmly believe that, and I set that intention, and I put that energy out there into the universe. And those that it's not meant for, yeah, they'll never see it, or they'll never be able to understand and comprehend it, and that's cool too. I'm not meant for everybody, and I think that's something I need to, and I'm working on accepting within myself as well as you can't be everybody's cup of tea, right? Like, not everybody is meant to like you, not everybody is meant to connect with you on a deep level, not everybody is meant to see you, and that's okay. Yeah. I said I was gonna stop talking, and now I'm like getting myself into whole other rambles, but this is just how it's going. I really truly cannot shut my mouth. I think I held my tongue and I kept my mouth shut for so long, and I just kind of sat back and observed and took in so much for so long that now that I've come out of the isolation and I'm choosing to come out of that and to come out of my shell and to share it, yeah, I can't shut the fuck up. I have so much within me, and I always have had it, and I'm just tired of holding that back from myself, and I think from the world. Because if I'm gonna go by anything that anybody's told me, is that like there's some good shit within this little body of mine. A little body. There was supposed to be a reference to a fucking Palpatine's journey on YouTube. Go look it up. It's a little animation. I love him, and I completely butchered his little voice there that I love so much, his old man voice. Yeah, if I'm to listen to what other people have told me and to use that as an opportunity to see myself on a deeper level, alchemizing that shit, oh my god, still keeping in my theme of trying to trust myself the most and put myself first. Anyways, if I'm gonna trust any of the positive feedback I've received over the years, it seems like I would be doing a disservice to people out there by hiding myself and dimming my light. So I need to just come out of the fucking cave and like say some shit, because like somebody out there needed to hear this. So anyways, yeah, thanks for tuning in. If you stuck with me this long, thank you. I don't know when you're going to be seeing my face again. Depends on how dedicated you are to listening to me blabbling my mouth, because there's always things out there to find. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there for now. I think there was a lot of big takeaways and lessons. I feel like this was just like a therapy session almost, of just a reflection of like, I figured out a lot of shit. I don't know. And I don't know if it'll even make sense. I'm gonna listen to this back to myself and see what the fuck is up. Take in my own wisdoms. That's the real life hack of life, okay, is putting the wisdoms out there for other people, but you're really doing it for yourself. This is like a guide from me. This is like my Grace and Frankie moment, where this is my Frankie like video diary that I'm keeping for myself. so I can do the learnings and the things and process my emotions and realign my chi and all that shit. Like, again, I'm sorry, I know I'm making light and kind of making fun of lots of spiritual concepts and new age community thingies, but I can't take any of anything too seriously anymore, because I've really seen some serious deep shit that I will not get into right now. But yeah, I just think I've been taking life way too seriously, and laughter and humor is a medicine, and it is my medicine. It's one of my medicines. So it just pours out of me, you know. At this point, it's like a tick. It's an itch that needs to be scratched, and if I need to say something, it needs to come out, whether it might offend somebody or not. So yeah, that's more things we're letting go, but that's for another day, maybe, if I can shut up. Anyway, thanks for sticking around for my babble. Hope you got some good shit out of it. Hope you at least were entertained. Are you not entertained? Yeah. I'm gonna shut my mouth now, or at least shut my mouth here on video and probably go babble to somebody else about some other shit, who knows. So have a good one. See you when I see ya. Rachel is out for now. Bye. Bye, home slice. Bye, muchachos. See you later.